Hi everyone, it's Django here. Let me start off by asking a simple question. Have you ever bought a t-shirt because it looked really cool in the shop, got it home, then found it makes you look a little bit like a cock? Well, welcome to Gothic 4. I should say to start with that this review is of the PC version, although some of my comments will be for all platforms, some are obviously fairly specific to the PC. So, Gothic 4. Where the hell do I start with this? When I see a game from Jowood, I'm left with quite mixed feelings most of the time. They've made some pretty decent games over the years, but at the same time some absolute howlers. So with this in mind, I loaded up Gothic 4 and gave the game the benefit of the doubt. The first thing I noticed was that Gothic 4 looked significantly better than earlier versions, and clearly some time has been taken to beautify the game. However, once I scratched the surface of that, I soon found that despite this, it still felt rather flat and uninspiring. There are some nice panoramic views and reasonable details to the environment, but nothing new. But at all times you feel like you're always questing in a box, a restrictive box, and the freedom of movement of most modern RPGs is just totally absent. The game can be said the same can be said for the quality of the sound and interface screens. Basic. So let's get to the crux of my problem with Gothic 4, the gameplay. Now I can tolerate a lot of minor things if the gameplay rocks. I think most people can. Gothic 4 took my good intentions, put them in a blender, switched it on, and then left me to churn over and over in a relentless cycle of monotony while it sat drinking a beer with a smug grin over its overinflated face. Movement for one thing is hideous and clunky, and the combat is frankly pathetic. I can imagine this working much better on other formats, but only just. Let's be honest here, Gothic 4 doesn't have the flow of a lot of recent RPGs. And selecting mobs to attack is merely just about facing in the right direction and clicking randomly. As you level up, you unlock skills that make this a little bit more interesting, but literally a little. As a final point on gameplay, I'll just say that it's very rare these days for me to get so bored during combat, because they're often the focal point of most games. That's where a lot of the enjoyment comes from after all. With Gothic 4 I actually found myself bored, stupid, and wishing I'd used the time to do something more rewarding, like I don't know, learn a song on the guitar, do the washing up, empty my overflowing bin in the kitchen, or even wax my testicles using sandpaper. Anything rather than have to endure the dullest combat sequences I've seen in quite some time. Yes, the game's a hack and slash, easy-going game, but there's no energy in the combat. I had more fun killing sheep and chicken in the game, because at least it was mildly entertaining. Anyway, let's move on to the role-playing side of things. Questing is simply dull. You don't really get much choice about how you do quests or in what order, and none of the conversations with the highly sedated NPCs are anything more than one-dimensional. These days gamers want more diversity in their RPGs and love the chance to choose their destiny. You might as well slam your face repeatedly onto your keyboard if you expect that from Gothic 4. Even the NPCs and dialogue are woeful despite how they might look, and the voice acting is right out of a kid's school play with little or no feeling. None of which helps you immerse you into the story at all. Even when the main character finds out his girlfriend is pregnant quite early in the game, all you get from this plank is, "You are pregnant, wow," delivered with as much energy as a patient in a coma. This also sums up the story. Nothing new, completely superficial, and as engaging as a friendly person with their outstretched hand towards you, sat in a puddle of their own urine. So let me sum this up. Should you get it? Well, let me take you back to what I said at the start of this review. If you knew the t-shirt you liked would make you look hideous, would you still buy it? Or would you realise that with all good t-shirts there must be some lame ducks along the way and simply shrug it off and move on? Now, games like this are very niche. Well, make that massively niche. So you might not 100% agree when or if you give it a go. There's a demo you can try out, for example, if you want to subject yourself to the gaming equivalent of Valium. However, for me, Gothic 4 fell way behind par for a modern RPG. Anyway, Gothic 4 comes out on the PC, Xbox on the 15th of October, and the PS3 version comes out later in the year. For more reviews and previews and all that kind of gaming shizzle nizzles, then check out GameBank. Until next time, keep the faith, my RPG brothers. Cheers.
I'm not afraid.
Might be, might not be. My nose is telling me.
You know it's time for us to step it up another level now, cause we finished warming up, so we rise up, elevate to maintain, fill up with our